Hi and welcome. This is Sherry Summers with Everyday Pronunciation, and today we're going to work on the question, what do you mean? What do you mean? All right, it looks pretty easy, doesn't it? But there are a few things that we should talk about here. First of all, if you'll notice, we've got the what in the beginning, which means that it is a WH question. So whenever we have that, we're going to hear a rise on our final important word and then a pretty severe drop. And so this is a really short question, so it's pretty easy to figure out that our most important word is this word mean. So it means we'll go up and then we'll drop at the end quite a bit. So mean, mean. All right, so we always know that there's going to be a drop whenever there's a WH question, a what, where, when, why. The other thing that I want you to notice is how small the words do and you are, and somewhat the word what. So you'll notice that we just spend a lot of time on the word mean, mean. So let's go to the end of the sentence and work on that strong word, and we will put it here at the end here and say that it has a long E sound. So it has this represents an E, by the way, and this represents another E. It makes it a longer E. E. There's almost a drop in there too. So it's not really short, it's rather long, and it is called a long E. 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 So we have mean, mean, mean. And if we were talking about somebody being unkind or something, we would use the same word. We would say, he's very mean. He's not a nice person. He's mean. She's a mean woman. So mean is our final word. It is a long E, and we spend most of our time there. But before that, we have the word you. And if you recall, you isn't often stressed. You is usually reduced. And what that means, is we're going to remove the oo part of you. Now, you can leave it if you want, and you can say a little you. But a lot of times the oo comes out and we end up with a yeah, yeah, yeah. So we get a little yeah sound. Yeah. I'll put a dot under that. That represents a really fast sound. I'm going to put a nice strong line here to represent the strong mean. So try it with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean, you mean, you mean. The do actually gets reduced as well. So we don't say do. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying do. You could certainly say, what do you mean? But it's not as common and it sounds a little bit stiff. So we're going to take that oo out of the do and put a little baby schwa there as well. We get duh, 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 yeah, duh, yeah, duh, yeah, duh, yeah, duh, yeah. Okay, do you mean? Do you mean? Do you mean? Do you mean? Doesn't sound quite like a sentence yet, does it? But now when we put the what there, the what has a T at the end. Normally we would hold that T and say what, what. But something kind of funny happens, and I think it has more to do with the fact that it's just such a common way of saying things that the T is going to be dropped a little bit as well. We can either think of it as being dropped out entirely or think about it as being kind of like the D that comes after it. So what you end up with is this. W, w, w. You might even hear w. Now, a lot of people will think that these two sounds are the same, but this one on the top actually means something a little bit stronger. We put that in words that have a nice vowel sound, and the sound is like fun. The one below is a little bit smaller, and it always goes in a weak sound, and it's So there's a little bit of a difference. Wa, wa, wa. Sorry, let me do that again. The first one, wa, 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 wa. And to be honest, either one will work. But since we're trying to really, really speak like most Americans speak, we're going to make it really small. Let's try to make it as small as possible so we end up with w, w, d, w, d, y. And you're probably thinking, that's not really English. But I promise you, this is what people are usually saying, but they're just saying it very, very quickly. So we get woulda-ya, 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 woulda-ya. Okay? If you listen in on people's conversations, that's what you'll hear. But it's so fast you may not recognize it. So we end up with woulda-ya mean. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not coming to the party with me? What do you mean we're out of paper? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Now, if we were to use it in the past tense and say, what did you mean? What did you mean? You hear a little j in there. That's the did plus the U, the D plus the Y combining together and giving us a little j sound. So if you hear a j in there, it's past tense. But we don't have that in this one. We don't hear what did ya, what did ya. That's a different sentence. What did you do? What did you mean? This is right now, what do you mean? So try it with me several times, and then throughout the day, try it as many times as you're able to. Try it 5 or 10 times in a row, several times a day. And I promise you, when you go to bed and let it sit in your brain a little bit, you'll wake up tomorrow being able to say it very well. So here we go. Try this with me. What do you mean? 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 Sorry, but what do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean? All right, how does that feel? If you do it exactly like this and you do the really short sounds followed by the long mean, you'll sound great, perfect.